A high-stakes federal trial. Every eye on the proceedings, rumors swirling, and then out of nowhere, someone completely unexpected walks in to testify. According to reporting from inside the courtroom, that's exactly what happened in the Diddy trial when Joe Rogan took the stand as a surprise witness.
It sounds like it wasn't just unexpected. The reporting suggests it was a moment that really shifted the entire atmosphere in the room.
Today, we are taking a deep dive into that extraordinary source material covering his hours of testimony. And, to be clear, this isn't about courtroom procedure or legal analysis. This entire deep dive is based only on what Rogan claimed he learned over years from a stack of his own sources, people who appeared on or spoke off air with his, massively popular podcast. So let's set that scene again. The courtroom was already buzzing, filled with anticipation, and what the reports described as, chaos. And then the man behind the most watched podcast walks through the doors, a surprise witness.
Yeah, and the details of his arrival are pretty striking. No entourage, no lawyers mentioned right away, just Rogan reportedly holding a small black notebook. He was described wearing, I think, a dark gray blazer and jeans. Kind of casual, but intensely focused as he approached the stand.
The reports say the room instantly hushed. No cameras allowed, only sketch artists working frantically to capture the moment. And Rogan's stated purpose was immediate and direct. "I'm not here to gossip," he reportedly said. He claimed he was there because he had received firsthand accounts from guests on his show, accounts that connected deeply to what's happening in this courtroom. He also stated he had recordings and detailed notes, which he'd kept secure.
And what's fascinating here, based on the reporting, is how quickly the court seemed to treat him not just as, a celebrity witness, but almost like an informant or a whistleblower once he started speaking. That reportedly lent significant weight to what he had to say.
Okay, so that sets the scene. But the really crucial question is, who are these sources he claimed to have? And why on earth would they come to him with this kind of, potentially dangerous information?
Well, the source material describes them as quite a mix. Ex-bodyguards, former label executives, tour managers, producers, music video directors, stylists, even former staff from yachts and employees of security agencies. Really a wide range of people from inside the industry.
A real cross-section.
Exactly. And the why is a key insight from his testimony, apparently. Rogan reportedly testified that many of these individuals were just too scared to speak off the record anywhere else. They allegedly came to him not looking for judgment, but because they believed he wouldn't cut the tape when the truth got uncomfortable. That was the phrase used.
That makes sense, given his show's reputation, I suppose. But he also made a critical point. Many of these accounts were allegedly shared off-air, or, never made it into the final podcast episodes, precisely because people were so afraid of repercussions.
Yeah, he gave some stark examples, didn't he? Like, one guest supposedly asked for their voice to be blurred, another wanted their name distorted, and one reportedly insisted on recording their conversation way out in some remote cabin just for security.
Wow. That really highlights the level of fear he claims surrounded these topics, even for people seeking him out privately. It definitely raises questions about the alleged power dynamics at play.
Absolutely. And Rogan claimed this wasn't some sudden revelation for him either. He reportedly testified that based on years of these conversations, he'd been noticing a disturbing pattern since, as early as 2018?
Yeah, 2018. The source material mentions an early guest, a tour manager, who apparently confided off-air that Diddy's parties weren't just extravagant, but allegedly dangerous.
Right. And this is where the testimony started painting a really grim picture. According to a guest, Rogan described as a former security detail for an A-list artist speaking off-air in 2023. Mind you, Diddy allegedly possessed files, physical evidence, videos, recordings, all stored on a private server in some kind of bunker-like room at his Miami compound.
Okay, now this is where, according to the reporting, the courtroom reportedly erupted in gasps. This same guest allegedly told Rogan that Jay-Z, LeBron James, and other very public figures knew about the freak-offs.
Knew about them, not necessarily that they participated, the source clarified, but that they were aware these events were happening. Host, speaker. Yeah, the reporting from the courtroom emphasizes the shock that specific claim caused. The term freak-off was apparently industry code, and Rogan's source allegedly described details like phones being confiscated, guests being blindfolded, really unsettling stuff. And Rogan reportedly confirmed to the prosecution that he had submitted excerpts of recordings with unnamed insiders discussing these alleged events to the DA's office. He also reportedly made this compelling comparison, didn't he? Saying he'd interviewed everyone from Navy SEALs to CIA whistleblowers,
right,
and had never heard anything this disturbing come from the lips of people so high up in entertainment. That's a heavy statement.
It really is. It sounds like he was building a case based on multiple alleged accounts, even if they started as anecdotes. He mentioned a producer guest from way back in 2015 who reportedly described seeing things like hidden cameras and smoke detectors, people slipping things into drinks, and A-list celebrities allegedly just pretending not to notice what was happening at a Diddy-hosted event.
And critically, this producer allegedly saw people being filmed against their will. Rogan, apparently reading directly from his off-air notes, quoted the producer claiming Diddy actually referred to this filming as leverage.
Leverage. That idea seems like a central theme emerging from his sources, doesn't it? This alleged hidden filming used as leverage.
It really does. Rogan clarified that while these claims were often anecdotal at first, as you said, too many lined up to ignore, he described them as detailed accounts, timelines, locations, multiple people describing the same set of behaviors. He reportedly testified he kept a private archive with NDAs covering these, super sensitive conversations.
And he stated that he began connecting the dots more directly when names and behaviors described in the Jane Doe lawsuits started matching the details his guest had allegedly been whispering about for years. That crossover, that's significant.
Yeah, the public accusations aligning with the private whispers. And then there was that particularly powerful detail he shared about a prominent music video director who allegedly came to Rogan in 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Reportedly sobbing, claiming he possessed footage, unreleased, uncensored, of parties, and had been basically blackmailed into filming for over a decade.
Over a decade. Just wow. Again, it reinforces that alleged pattern of leveraging filming that Rogan kept coming back to based on his source material.
Exactly.
Let's return to that alleged Miami compound vault, the bunker. Rogan reportedly revisited this based on an account from a 2022 off-air guest, the former bodyguard.
Right, and the description given is reportedly so vivid and, frankly, alarming, a reinforced basement-like vault, only accessible by biometric scan. Inside, allegedly, dozens of encrypted hard drives. The bodyguard reportedly called it the black box, and Diddy's insurance policy.
And the claimed contents are just truly disturbing. Footage of freak-off parties, blackmail material, contracts, hidden hammer videos, not just of random people, of celebrities, executives, politicians. The reporting indicates these claims caused visible discomfort, more gasps in the courtroom. Just imagine hearing that.
It's hard to fathom. The bodyguard also allegedly claimed he saw racks of servers all air-gapped during some kind of backup session, but was told to leave by an armed person. He reportedly called the room Diddy's church, implying it was sacred because it held all that immense alleged leverage.
And what's really striking is the alleged corroboration Rogan presented. He stated two other guests, stylists, independently described a downstairs room where security cameras faced inward.
Inward, wow.
Yeah. One even claimed she signed an NDA in that very room after noticing what looked like a disguised people in the mirror. You have people from different backgrounds, years apart, allegedly describing similar specific details about a hidden room and its function.
That's compelling, if true. And the story reportedly kept unfolding right up until his testimony. Rogan revealed that just, 3 months prior, an anonymous whistleblower reached out to his team.
Yeah, get this. This person allegedly claimed they worked for a third-party data recovery company in Miami.
Okay.
And were hired to extract encrypted video from a corrupted server, claiming some of it showed guests at Diddy's events in, let's just say, compromising situations. Rogan said he archived this account, noting that, the feds might already have this stuff if there had been a seizure of assets.
Right, which is a possibility. And he ended that whole segment from the stand with a reportedly very direct challenge, looking towards Diddy, basically saying, if you're innocent, let them search the basement. Open the vault. Release what's in the black box.
That's a provocative statement.
Huh?
According to the reporting, it really put the onus on the defense regarding whether these alleged materials even exist and what's on them.
Absolutely. By this point in the testimony, the reporting suggests Rogan wasn't just detailing isolated incidents anymore. He was outlining what he claimed was a systemic operation. He explicitly stated, this isn't just about parties, it's about control, fear, image, and silence.
Which connects directly back to why his sources allegedly came to him in secret in the first place. He laid out examples of individuals who hinted at secrets but were allegedly silenced or just too afraid to speak openly.
Like that hairstylist you mentioned, who reportedly left the industry entirely because of what Diddy allegedly made her witness, claiming she saw someone being filmed through a two-way mirror at a Hamptons party.
A two-way mirror. And he described what he called an ecosystem of silence, a process allegedly detailed by multiple guests. You get invited to a party, asked to sign an NDA, filmed without knowing.
And then later you get a chilling reminder text like, had fun last month, let's keep that between us. Rogan reportedly called this a web of invisible handcuffs. It sounds insidious.
It does. And the alleged consequences for breaking this silence were apparently real. A Grammy-winning producer reportedly refused to delete a video, and poof, his tour was canceled a week later.
And Rogan himself testified to receiving legal letters from PR firms warning him to stop discussing certain individuals, though he didn't name the firms. The reports noted the jury probably didn't need the names to get the implication.
Right. Then came that deeply unsettling claim about the rainy day file. A source from a celebrity security agency allegedly told Rogan there was a master folder, backup footage stored off-site, encrypted, basically, insurance.
Insurance. And this folder allegedly contained a file on a very powerful politician.
Yeah. Rogan reportedly noted that if the feds were to obtain these alleged tapes, this trial is just the beginning, while that specific line was apparently ordered stricken from the record.
Right, struck from the record, but the implication was clear. The potential scale and political ramifications of these alleged archives, it painted a picture of power extending far beyond just the music industry.
Definitely. Okay, let's look at specific key events Rogan discussed and the individuals his sources allegedly named as being present. He linked directly to the Manzero lawsuit, where a man claimed he was paraded in a mask on a yacht.
Yeah, Rogan testified he spoke with someone who was reportedly on that yacht in January 2023. A young videographer allegedly hired to film, but told explicitly to shoot only the happy stuff.
Only the happy stuff. But what that videographer allegedly saw sounds like something out of a horror film. Celebrities smiling in the foreground, but further back. Rooms with red lights, people restrained, and a man masked being led around like a pet.
It's just awful. And the videographer's footage was reportedly taken. He was paid like $5,000 and never received a final cut. Rogan connected this back to the alleged system, reportedly saying something like, "You think this is all chaos? It's not. It's a system. And the scariest part, the people we idolize are in the rooms where it happens."
That's chilling. And he added a prediction too, didn't he? If even one of those tapes gets played in court, half this industry is finished.
Wow. He then detailed the infamous 2023 yacht party, which had been the subject of rumors, but hearing it detailed like this in court.
Yeah, Rogan claimed to have testimony from 2 different people on that boat, 1 crew member, 1 guest.
And their accounts allegedly described phones being confiscated, passengers being patted down before they even boarded. Once they were in international waters, apparently the curtains were drawn and a private room was locked down. The crew allegedly called it the rotation, with new guests brought in hourly.
And hidden cameras reportedly inside mirror frames. Some staff allegedly instructed to spike drinks, though some reportedly refused, thankfully, but others apparently complied.
And the guest who spoke to Rogan wasn't even supposed to be there, apparently. A last-minute addition, thinking it was some kind of networking opportunity.
Right, but what he allegedly saw was a man in a mask, people laughing, describing it like performance art, except it wasn't. People allegedly had phones out, and very, very famous people were reportedly watching this unfold.
And the attendees mentioned by multiple sources, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Now, Rogan reportedly made it very clear that no one said they participated.
Right, important distinction.
But their names allegedly came up consistently in these accounts of who was present. It paints a disturbing picture of alleged presence, at least, if not participation, in these really dark environments.
And the consequence for the guest who reportedly spoke out, also telling, he refused money to forget what he saw. 2 weeks later, his apartment was allegedly broken into. The only thing taken, his external hard drives.
That sends a clear message, doesn't it?
It certainly seems intended to. This brings us to Rogan's claims about alleged knowingness and silence amounting to complicity, based on his sources. That hairstylist source, the one who saw filming at the Hamptons party. She also reportedly named Jay-Z as present.
Again, Rogan clarified she didn't say Jay-Z participated, but was reportedly present multiple times, walking like a ghost, seen but not seen. That's a strange description.
It is. And multiple other sources, ex-security, dancers, assistants, producers, allegedly mentioned the same dynamic. Jay-Z and Diddy were like 2 sides of the same coin, one allowed, one controlled. But allegedly, the scenes were always the same.
There was also that industry insider who reportedly laughed when Rogan asked why no one allegedly called out the behavior, saying something like, "You don't take down Puff without pulling Have down too, right?" Seeming to support a theory of alleged institutional protection.
Yeah, exactly. And Rogan's analogy, based on this, was pointed. If Diddy was the fire, Jay-Z was the smoke detector that never went off.
Oof. He also reportedly brought up a comment Elon Musk made on his podcast about Jennifer Lopez, questioning why she, who dated Diddy and reportedly went to his parties, never warned anyone, linking it to a broader point about alleged hypocrisy in Hollywood.
Right, and he reportedly connected this even further back to the 1999 nightclub shooting. J-Lo was there, reportedly said Diddy didn't do it, he walked free, Shine went to prison, and J-Lo allegedly kept dating Diddy through that.
That context is.
Yeah. Rogan reportedly questioned, based on this history, what does it say when someone helps protect the man arrested and stays with him while someone else takes the fall? He reportedly added a really chilling line. What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
Wow. His overall point on this, according to the reporting, was that while many publicly posted about Diddy's philanthropy, none allegedly spoke up when the lawsuits started piling up, or when freak-off tapes were mentioned, or even when Shine reportedly finally told his truth about the 1999 incident after all those years.
And those anonymous warning emails reportedly traced to a firm tied to Roc Nation's PR team that just seemed to reinforce his conclusion, allegedly stated as, silence in the face of abuse is complicity.
And that too many in Diddy's orbit have mastered the art of disappearing when the cameras turn. Rogan's personal response to getting those warnings, reportedly just, silence is a weapon, I'm not built that way.
As his testimony reportedly neared its end, Rogan apparently stood up from the witness chair to finish. He stated this wasn't about canceling somebody, but about holding someone accountable who built an empire on fear.
And he claimed that from interviewing such a wide range of guests over the years, astronauts, ex-spooks, all sorts, he had learned to detect lying versus someone just holding back out of fear.
He reportedly stated that what he heard about Diddy didn't come from trolls, but from people who literally shook while speaking, people constantly looking over their shoulders out of alleged fear. It paints a picture.
It really does. And his prediction for the future was stark, reportedly saying, if the feds don't find the footage, the public will. Someone somewhere has it. And when it comes out, he claimed, this courtroom will look like a warm-up act.
Then he reportedly addressed Diddy directly in his closing, stating he didn't know if he started this alleged system or just inherited it, but that he kept it going and was now watching it crumble from the inside out.
And he concluded by saying this was the one time he felt he needed every word to count, hoping maybe to save one kid out there from stepping into a similar nightmare, and that making every threat, every NDA, every silent producer, as he put it, worth breaking.
And according to the reporting, when he finally stepped down, for the first time in days, Diddy didn't look away. He watched him leave.
That's a powerful detail.
So what does all this mean for you listening to this deep dive? We've unpacked the really extraordinary claims Rogan presented in court, claims based on years of conversations with people supposedly deep inside the industry. It paints a picture of alleged systemic control, leveraged through hidden filming, and an empire reportedly built on fear and silence.
Yeah, from alleged secret bunkers filled with hard drives and masked figures on yachts, to claims of alleged complicity from some very powerful figures and warnings sent to Rogan's own team. This testimony, if even partially true, suggests a deeply disturbing reality might hide behind the red carpet smiles we usually see.
It really forces you to think about the alleged systems of power and silence that could potentially operate, maybe even in plain sight, within industries we often only see from the outside looking in.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets truly thought-provoking for you to consider. If even a fraction of the alleged footage from that black box or the yacht were ever to actually surface publicly, what other hidden systems, what other secrets being kept out of alleged fear might suddenly be dragged into the light?